Kevin Hart. Now, you know when Katt Williams said gatekeepers?
Yeah.
Kevin Hart, I do his podcast.
Yeah.
I don't want to ever seem like I'm talking harshly about my brothers and sisters, but it takes me to a different place when I feel like you're scamming us. And I feel like you're not being honest and truthful. And that's why the same story keeps repeating itself, because we keep doing the same history.
When you did that interview with Katt, I could respect how you do it. Because Katt said you let them people lie in your face.
Y'all, Monique came out guns blazing in her Club Shay Shay interview, and guess who's catching strays? Yup, Kevin Hart. A couple of weeks ago, Katt Williams dragged Kevin Hart for filth on his Club Shay Shay session, accusing him of being a lapdog to industry higher-ups. Katt even went as far as calling Kevin an industry plant, saying he only got this far in his career because he was willing to suck up to the who's who of Hollywood. Well, Monique is now supporting Katt's claims with her own story, talking about how Kevin betrayed her when she needed him the most. But Monique didn't just come here to chat dirt, she brought receipts, baby. So you might want to grab some popcorn while we break this down.
Endemol says, we just got a call from Kevin Hart's manager, Dave Becky. And Dave Becky said Kevin doesn't want anything to do with Monique. So whatever she told y'all, he doesn't want to do anything with her, nothing. You know, he doesn't want any kind of relationship with Monique.
So as y'all know, Kevin Hart has been making the news rounds in the last few weeks for all the wrong reasons. It all started with Kevin's former assistant, Ma-Isha Shakes, spilling the tea on Kevin when she sat with Tasha K. Ma-Isha, who worked for Kevin between August 2017 and October 2020, claimed that he had been cheating on his wife, Eniku, with multiple women. She also claimed Kevin owed some of his staff money because he spent all his money feeding his gambling addiction, so he couldn't pay them. Ma-Isha then took it up a notch when she dropped receipts to show how Kevin was all up in another woman's draws when his wife was at home pregnant.
Haley is his publicist, so she called me. She was just like, hey, Ma-Isha, have you spoke to Kevin? I was like, no. I was like, Dave Becky just called me, his manager. Why? And then she was like, the whole Oscar thing, Kevin needs to say an apology. He's about to lose Nike.
The first scandal was with the first baby.
Correct.
The one in Vegas.
Yes.
So these other scandals,
It's another one in the office.
she pregnant again.
Correct. With her second baby.
And he's still leaving semen stains all over the counter at the
Yes.
Heartbeat Studio.
Correct.
And showering and then going home like.
I told Aniko, like, Kevin is cheating on you with a girl named Mick Snorgan. She's his flight attendant. She's on his planes.
Does Kevin have a gambling problem or something?
His game is poker.
He gambled y'all money away and had to pay y'all half checks?
Yes. Well, exactly. It was Leland. Leland was messing with our money. But I said, here she is.
She got it. She on vacation every day. When you see her bitches, all she do is post vacation pictures with no nigga beside her. The nigga taking the picture. He say nothing.
Tasha K had barely even posted the video when Kevin had his legal team slam her with a lawsuit for defamation. Ma-Isha also got served, and in her files, Kevin accused her of violating the NDA she signed with him. But there was someone else who had dirt on Kevin and who wasn't under any NDA, Katt Williams. The ink on Kevin's defamation suit had barely dried when Katt did the explosive interview with Club Shay Shay that would leave Kevin's publicity team working overtime to clear up the mess. Katt said Kevin was an industry plant and that his come-up story didn't make sense at all because he just strolled into the scene and started getting major stand-up and television deals without having to work as hard as his colleagues.
In 15 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show, there being a line for him ever getting a standing ovation at any comedy club. He already had his deals when he got here. Have we heard of a comedian that came to LA and in his first year in LA, he had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading? No, we've never heard of that before that person or since that person. What do you think a plant is? Maybe people don't understand the definitions of these words.
According to Katt, Kevin had no moral compass, and there was no limit to the things he was willing to do for a check. He said the only reason why Kevin's career blew up so quickly, even when he wasn't all that talented, was that he sold his soul for money and fame. He even said Kevin already had everything worked out for him before he came on the scene. All he had to do was slide into his spot. Then Katt said this man, Kevin, ain't nothing but a gatekeeper. Someone let him in after selling his soul, and now he's holding the gate open for people like Tiffany Haddish.
Yeah, because they tell you that there's no gatekeepers, but we keep seeing the same people open the gate. Didn't Kevin open the gate and let Tiffany in? Ain't he now opening it up for don't such and such open the gate? What do you mean ain't no gatekeepers?
But Katt wasn't done just yet because he suggested Kevin sometimes takes money from Hollywood elites to push narratives they want you to push while ignoring important issues. And what did Kevin get for his trouble? Well, according to Katt, there were some offers he couldn't take because he had standards, which Kevin didn't. So, because Kevin was willing to sell his soul for some handouts, he accepted those roles and offers that Katt turned down.
For a 5-year period, every single movie that Kevin Hart did was a movie that had been on my desk, that all I had said was, just, can we take some of this step and fetch it shit out? And then I can do it. Like, it don't need to be overtly homosexual, because I'm not homosexual, right? It doesn't need that to be funny, right? And me saying that and them going, oh yeah, no problem. And then going to give it to this other guy and having him do it just like it was, and acting like I'm a bad person because I keep standing on my standard. But yeah, it's interesting, but I wouldn't change it for the world. Like, again,
These comments from Katt really left Kevin shaking in his boots because he was being dragged all over the internet. But Kevin tried to play it cool and deflect by saying Katt was angry and crazy. He hopped on X and started typing for his life. Gotta get that anger up out ya, champ. It's honestly sad. In the meantime, please enjoy my movie trailer to my next film, Lift, which will be dropping on Netflix in 8 days. There is a moment in the trailer where Gugum Bathoral says, "They really love you." I know she's talking about Katt.
You didn't say nothing to Katt Williams when he did a 3-hour interview talking slow yesterday. You didn't put a shot clock on him.
Do you entertain the circus or do you watch it, Kurt? Which one do you do?
Then Kevin dissed Katt again on NBA Unplugged, calling Katt a circus clown and throwing all sorts of jabs at him. But the one thing Kevin didn't do was say Katt was lying. And that's important because fans latched onto that and started wondering if Kevin was trying to distract us from the truth. This made people start calling for Monique to come to Club Shay Shay and speak her truth about what happened between her, Tyler Perry, and Oprah. And of course, Monique was happy to sit with Shannon Sharpe and tell her story. Now, Monique didn't exactly say anything new during the session. She just shed more light on the feud and everything that went down between them. However, it was what she said about Kevin Hart that gagged the audience. Girl, you would not believe that she sat in that chair and said Kevin Hart was one of the people who betrayed her and left her for dead when the entire world was against her. It was so shocking because that was the first time Monica was saying anything about Kevin doing her dirty, and here all of us were thinking Kevin was on her side. According to Monica, everything Katt said about Kevin was true because he started out trying to support her, but then he changed sides and ghosted her when it came down to walking the talk.
Kevin Hart. Now, you know when Katt Williams said gatekeepers?
Yeah.
Kevin Hart.
For context, the beef between Monique, Tyler Perry, and Oprah has been going on for over a decade. It all started when Monique appeared in the Tyler Perry and Oprah co-directed movie Precious. After the movie was released, Tyler Perry and Oprah wanted to cash in on Monique's Oscar hype, so they asked her to do an international press tour for the movie. The caveat was they weren't going to pay her for the press tour. According to Monique, Tyler wanted her to do the press tour for free on some vague promise that if she won an Oscar, she would make almost $10 million for her next movie. But Monique was not about to allow herself to get played by the oldest trick in the book because, come on now, a black woman in Hollywood getting paid millions just like that. So Monique told Tyler that if she was going to do the press tour, then he had to write her a check for it because she was not in the habit of working for free. But Tyler said he wasn't going to give her the money, so she said she'd rather be at home with her family rather than do work she wasn't going to get paid for. Mind you, Monique was paid only $50,000 for her role on Precious. So I don't know why Tyler expected her to do a press tour that wasn't in her contract for free. What's even crazier is that according to Monique, Tyler didn't even seem angry that she refused to do the press tour. Even Oprah allegedly reached out to Monique to say she understood why Monique didn't want to work for free. But to Monique's surprise, she started seeing tabloids saying she was difficult to work with. And then she got blackballed because no one wanted to work with a difficult woman, especially a difficult black woman. Monique talked about how all the offers she previously had, like the role of Cookie Lion in Empire, were pulled, and she never got any new offers despite winning the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress in Precious. Now, when actors win an Oscar or any major award, they're supposed to have a run of at least 2 to 3 movies where they play major characters. But because somebody had gotten the word out that Monique was difficult to work with, she never got any of those opportunities. So all the millions Tyler Perry swore Monique would get, poof.
Because Cookie from the show Empire, I was offered that role. Now Taraji tore it up, baby. Listen here. However, I was offered that. Then Felita called me back and say, baby girl, they said you too difficult to work with. But you hear on the audio that a man told David Talbert I was difficult to work with. Do you see how that cost my family?
Yes.
And with no accountability?
Now, while Monique and her family were getting slammed left and right, the one person who appeared to stand up for her was Kevin Hart. Now, in 2021, Kevin brought Monique to his podcast, Gold Mines, so she could tell her side of things about how Tyler Perry, Lee Daniels, and Oprah had blackballed her. For the entire hour that Monique was on there, he kept singing her praises and acting like he was down for her. He even introduced her as his mama, auntie, sister, friend, everything.
Oh, today I got not only a friend, a family member, an auntie, a mama, a spirit. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Monique to Comedy Gold Mines. Hey, Mama Mo.
Hey, my sweet baby.
How you doing?
So, of course, Monique completely believed Kevin was on her side because he seemed like he wasn't feeling any of the BS. He even promised to call Tyler Perry right after the show and get him to fix things. To his credit, Kevin did make that call. However, Kevin allegedly called her back a few days later, saying Tyler didn't want to revisit the issue at that moment. He then told her to focus on other projects, promising to support her in whatever way she needed, including executive producing her projects.
We speak about the Tyler Perry situation. Oprah Winfrey, he said, I don't really know Oprah, but I'm gonna reach out to Tyler. Appreciate that. Kevin kept his word. He reached out to Tyler Perry. Kevin Hart called me back about maybe a week or so later. He said, Mo, I talked to Tyler. He said he don't want to revisit it. He said, but I tell you what, let's move past that, Mo. Let's just move past that and let's just do great things. So whatever
That's what Kevin said.
I want you to hear me, Kevin Hart. Let's move past that, Mo. Let's do some great things together. Don't even worry about it. Whatever y'all want to do, I will partner with you. I'll executive produce with you. You just let me know what you want to do.
Monique then acknowledged that, to Kevin's credit, the first thing Kevin did to show her support was to send her a check to get her through the rough times. Although she did return the check, Monique said she appreciated the gesture.
When my family was up against the wall, Kevin Hart wrote us a check and said, here you go. We're forever grateful for that. When we were able to give it back, we said, brother, we appreciate you with some interest on top, because I don't ever want nobody to think me and my husband. So I want to make sure I put that out there. That brother really helped us out when we needed to be helped out.
At the time, Monique was in the middle of negotiations with media company Endemol to develop some of her unscripted projects. When she called Endemol to tell them Kevin Hart was willing to co-produce with her on some of the projects, they were excited about it because, you know, anything with Kevin Hart's name has the potential to be a hit.
To do anything. He said, I'll executive produce, I'll partner with you. I said, good shit, Kevin, because we're in a deal with Endemol and we're trying to get our talk show back. Mo, whatever it is, I got you. Now, Kevin Hart is one of the biggest entertainers right now in the world, right? And was then. We got off the phone with Kevin Hart. We called Endemol immediately and said, Kevin Hart said, whatever we want to do, he got us. He's going to partner, executive produce. They was like, oh, this is incredible, because when you put Kevin Hart's name on it, you already know what it is.
Correct.
Now tell me why, a few weeks after Kevin made all this big talk, he started ignoring Monique. The way Monique remembers it, Kevin Hart's manager called Endemol and told them Kevin didn't want anything to do with her and wasn't going to help her with the projects anymore. Monique then hit Kevin's private line to understand where all that was coming from, and Kevin claimed it was all just a big miscommunication and that he was going to get back to her. However, it's been radio silence since Kevin from then.
2 weeks go by. We get a call from Endemol. Endemol says, we just got a call from Kevin Hart's manager, Dave Becky. And Dave Becky said, Kevin doesn't want anything to do with Monique. So whatever she told y'all, he doesn't want to do anything with her, nothing. You know, he doesn't want any kind of relationship with Monique.
So what changed between the 2 weeks and plus he gave you a check, you gave the money back, then said he would partner with you, executive produce, whatever you need, Mo, hey, we got you. So what transpired, or what do you think transpired between then that 2 week period?
Well, soon as we got off the phone and they told us what Kevin's manager, David Becky, said, I called Kevin Hart immediately. I said, hey, baby, we just got off the phone with Endemol and they said Dave Becky called them up and said, you don't want anything to do with me. He said, Mo, that's a miscommunication. I can tell you right now. I said, wait a minute. Are you okay, though, with this white man calling them up? Getting in between our relationship after something you said. He said, Mo, that's a miscommunication and we're going to talk Tuesday. Don't worry about it. I'm telling you right now, it's a miscommunication. That was 2 years ago. If you talk to him, I talk to him. I've never talked back to Kevin Hart again.
Keep in mind that Monique literally didn't ask for any of this. All she wanted was to speak her truth about what Tyler and Oprah did to her. It was Kevin who went out of his way to make these shiny promises, and when she started to trust him, he let her down completely. I don't know, guys, but that's just downright shady of Kevin, and you can bet your life he probably got a call from the industry higher-ups to remind him who was in charge. But instead of being man enough to tell her how it was, he just ghosted her and moved on with his life like she was nothing to him. Now, when it comes to Monique, the one thing you can be sure of getting is receipts. According to her, the reason why she was so mad about the whole situation was that Tyler, Oprah, and Kevin were comfortable playing ally to her face, but conspiring against her behind her back. Monique said Tyler called her to acknowledge that he did wrong by her and that he shouldn't have done what he did, and she has the audio recording to prove it.
Now, to Tyler Perry's credit, Tyler Perry called us up, right? And he said, I can see the pain in you and I can hear it. And I want to let you know that I would never do nothing to hurt you. But the conversation kept going on. Only for Tyler Perry to admit he did start a rumor that I was difficult to work with. He lied. Only for Tyler Perry to admit I was wrong. And when my movie Boo come out,
even Oprah came to Monique and acknowledged that she wasn't wrong and they did her dirty. However, behind her back, Oprah went around telling people she wasn't going to pay Monique a dime. Tyler also did the same thing. Monique said everything Tyler and Oprah did to her cost her tens of millions of dollars, so of course she wants compensation for that. According to her, if she hadn't faced all the struggles she faced, and if she wasn't a black woman in the industry, she would have been on the same level as Melissa McCarthy.
If I was a white woman, do you know what my name would be?
Wealthy.
Melissa McCarthy.
Oh my goodness.
If I was a white woman, my name would be Melissa McCarthy. Same track record.
To be clear, Monique said although she did want her check because these guys did mess up her bag, what she wanted the most was her name. She needed her name to be cleared, but that couldn't happen when the people who were supposed to support her publicly were under the control of the higher-ups. Monique then confirmed that, to date, none of the people who blackballed her had owned up to their actions and tried to fix things. Well, except Lee Daniels, who allegedly called her and admitted she was blackballed because she didn't want to play the game. So it was a different kind of hurt for Monique to see that Kevin Hart, who was supposed to be on her side, was out here rubbing shoulders with the likes of Tyler Perry and Oprah, who clearly had no respect for her and her family. She said she expected Kevin to actually stand by his words and do things differently, but he ended up being exactly like the people he knew were spreading lies about her and trying to ruin her life. It probably shouldn't have been that surprising that Kevin played Monique like that because he has been showing signs of being a backstabber for a while now. But then Kevin started changing his story from supporting Monique fully to playing neutral. In 2017, Kevin told TMZ, Monique is not only a friend, she's like an auntie to me. I got nothing but love. Did Soul Plane together, nothing but love for Monique, and the same thing for Tyler Perry, Lee Daniels, all good friends of mine. I wish nothing but happiness for everybody, and whatever those problems are, hopefully they can all find a way to resolve them and work together. They've done great work together, and I think they can do it again. Naturally, in life, things happen. There's a positive to every negative, so it's up to them to find it. So it was pretty obvious from the get that Kevin was not really on Monique's side. Still, Monique gave him the benefit of the doubt, and look how that turned out. But Monique wasn't done yet. She called out Kevin for being morally bankrupt, saying people like him, Tyler Perry, Oprah, and Steve Harvey were setting a bad example for young children because they couldn't stand for what was right.
Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, Steve Harvey, Kevin Hart, these are our juggernauts of our community. These are the people that our babies say, when I grow up, I want to be that.
Yes.
I want to be like that. So we have to call those people to the mat and say, listen, what are you teaching our babies? You're feeding poison because you're showing them your private jet. I'm going to show you my mansion. I'm going to show you my fancy cars. But my character is shot and I'm bankrupt. I got a lot of money in my bank. It's more zeros than some of them than we can imagine. But their character, they are bankrupt. Those are bankrupt people.
One interesting part of that interview was when Monique suggested that Tyler and Oprah didn't just spread lies about her. She said they found anyone who tried to support her and either paid them or bullied them into withdrawing their support. Kevin Hart was no doubt one of the people who were either paid or bullied into withdrawing support for Monique because the way he played her, you would have to be the devil himself to do that to your sister without getting anything for it. Now, what's crazy is that Katt Williams also said the same thing about the industry when he did his Club Shay Shay interview. According to him, the The industry higher-ups pay people to talk about certain things and push the agendas they want to push, and you'd better not refuse to do what they ask you to do if you collect the money.
It's a cabal. It's a consortium. They rock with who they rock with, and they don't with who they don't.
According to Monique, Katt was actually spitting facts in that interview, and she said she couldn't wait to see what they had to say to defend themselves when they came on Club Shay Shay. In fact, she said she was willing to sit down with Tyler and Oprah to hash it out if they decided to go to the show.
Look in your camera.
Yes.
And I want you to talk to Tyler Perry because you heard what that man said. So ask him, will he compensate my family for that?
Tyler, will you come on Club Shay Shay and let's have a conversation about the fair compensation for what transpired between you and Monique? You can sit right here and she's sitting right here and you and I can have a conversation.
And we'll do you one better. And give me 5 on that, baby. We'll do you one better, Shay. My husband and I'll sit right next to him. See, with this whole situation and some of the people that Katt talked about, ironically, I have this issues with those same people. There were people that reached out to Tyler Perry on my behalf.
Okay.
And I was grateful for that. Okay. There was Al Sharpton, the Reverend Al Sharpton, civil rights leader.
Yeah.
I sent him that audio. He listened to it. He said, baby, what that man did to you was wrong and you're like my daughter. And we're going to have to get him to fix that.
Right.
We didn't hear from Al Sharpton for 6 months. The next time we saw Al Sharpton, he was on a podium talking about we don't need to fly commercial because we can fly Tyler Perry's private jet. I said, that's why maybe I'm not hearing back from him, okay? Then we had our beautiful sister, Stephanie Mills.
Yes.
Okay, who is, she don't play.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I told her what happened, sent her the audio. Now, I don't know if she listened to that audio or not.
But in the meantime, people are now dragging Kevin Hart for betraying Monique the way he did after pretending to be his friend. Like, these celebrities were out here trying to make Katt look crazy when he did his interview. But now it turns out everything he said was true. Going by what fans are saying online, it seems like Kevin Hart is about to have a long, long year. One fan said, Monique's interview with Shannon broke my heart. Tyler Perry is a nasty piece of work for what he has subjected her to. And while we are at it, EF Kevin Hart for distancing himself from her after making promises. Black women are so disrespected, it's insane. I'm not even surprised about Monique's Kevin Hart segment because we've all heard this about Hart and other Black entertainers before. 2024 is air it out season. First Katt, now Monique. What we need next, Shannon, is Jaguar Wright. Meanwhile, fans are on Monique's side in this, and I can't even lie, I see why. If someone starts spreading a bunch of rumors to stand between me and my bag for over a decade, I too wouldn't let it go. And you know she's saying the truth because her story has remained the same for years. One fan supporting Monique said, Monique has maintained her story bar for years. That's why I've never doubted her. She deserves a public apology and the money she lost. Another one said, I have watched many interviews with Mo and her story has never changed. Tyler needs to make this right. But what do y'all think about Monique and Katt saying the same thing about Kevin Hart? Are they reaching, or is Kevin Hart really a sellout like they claim he is? Leave a comment down below and we'll see you in the next video.